Okay, it's Neil Walters. I'm back again, and I just kind of stumbled around for the last hour, and I'll tell you what I did. I'm going to summarize so I don't have to post all the gory details. I came over here to TRON Link and I actually created another wallet because I came back to the home page of Pearl.Finance, and I saw on here, it's still updating, that this daily ROI is like this huge number. And so I thought, okay, I want a piece of that. So I was going to move over $1,000 worth of TRX and put it into a separate pool so I could keep track of that. But I guess what I didn't know is these pools have limited time. And when they're done, you have to take your money out of them. And nowhere on here did it say when this pool began or when it ends. Someone said when the pool starts, it usually gives you the timeline for it. So here's what I'm going to do, just so you can follow along. It's like a game, right? So we have to play the game. So I got to go here, back to farm, and I'll go to select. And the reason I knew the things were not working right was on my account 2, when I went over here, the stake button was not appearing. And then I went to account 1, my original account, and I actually staked the additional investment, which was another $1,000 worth of Pearl and TRX. But what I noticed over here is the points earned have not gone up in the last hour. So that kind of confirms to me that this pool has ended and that it's not generating any more interest, okay? And I didn't know that before. It's not very well published. So what you do, there's nothing to harvest, but if I click here, harvest and unstake, I'm not going to lose my money, right? So I will just say here, harvest and unstake, and say accept. And now see that went down to 0. And now in my account 1, I have all these just swap tokens left. Okay. So now there's nothing on the home page here that indicates another pool is starting. I guess this was just a temporary thing, and I think they've now improved on it. So now we're going to play what I call now the game of the week. I'm not sure I like games, but now we're going to go to Salmon swap. So you probably heard in the news that sushi swap was a big thing a week or so ago. And there was some news that the main guy sold a lot of his sushi, causing the price to drop. But here's the analogy that sushi and Uniswap gave you sushi swap. And now they're saying sushi swap plus TRON is equal to Salmon swap. So basically we can take the same Pearl TRX liquidity tokens, and now we can go to Salmon swap. And so let's go to the home page to see what the deals are. Where's the home page? Okay, let's click menu. There's your menu. So these are the things you can order from the menu. And if I had Salmon TRX, I could stake that. And but you can see, yeah, the rewards there are many times higher. I'm gonna just, I'm gonna go for it. I want to see if I can get these big rewards. That's API per year, and how do you even figure that out per day? Even if you just divide by 365, that's almost like 10% a day. And I don't know if APIs, you can just divide them like that or not. So that means I need to go back and buy some salmon now and get rid of my Pearl. So here I'm going to select this, and yeah, so here's the link over to TRX swap. So it's going to just swap, and it's just a different pair than what we had before. So let's go back to here where I was on so let's go back to Pearl, and when I click this is the pair I have, and you can see I have a lot of those. So now, okay, so there is a remove button here. So if you go to the pool, see there's add liquidity and remove liquidity. So I'm going to say remove liquidity, or just max here. And so that should return to me my Pearl tokens and my TRX tokens. I'm going to click remove, go through the confirm process. There's what it's going to be removing, so that's where you have your last chance to say okay. So I should get 15,000 TRX and 0.416 Pearl. And most of that's what I just deposited actually in the last video 10 minutes ago. Most of that's my $1,000 I just put in, but part of it's my original 100 plus my earnings, okay? So I'm gonna accept that. So now in my wallet, either now or in just a few seconds, I should have some Pearl again. So see, my just swap tokens have gone down, and just give it another few seconds. We should see my Pearl tokens come back up. There they are. So there's my half a Pearl. So now I want to change all my Pearl for Salmon. Like I said, this is like a game. This is like playing a video game, basically. I think that's why some people are attracted to DeFi. You know, it's not maybe for your average Joe. So here I'm going to click swap, and I want to trade Pearl. Okay, Pearl. It should be the one that has the 0.41 tokens. And I want to trade for selected token, Salmon. Now, as before, we don't want to get the wrong Salmon token. So we have to play this game again to get the right one. So to get the right contract for Salmon, if we go to, this should be it over here. I found this earlier. So back to CoinGecko, different ways to find it. Go to tronscan.org. And like I said, sometimes that's a copy button, sometimes it's not. Looks like the copy button is to the right. And when there's a little icon to the left, unfortunately, it's not a copy button. So I'm going to copy that, go back in here and paste, and that should be, oh, SAL, which is not even the word salmon. Okay. But before, again, I do that, I want to be really, really sure. So what I do is I have a notepad open on my machine here. This is the SAL address from... So this is the SAL address from TRON scan. Okay, so I've more than verified this. I believe that is the right token, SAL there. And now I'm going to swap my Pearl for SAL. But I'm not going to do the whole thing. So this is where things can get overly complicated, not just for doing this, but like for doing a good demo. So like the price of Pearl dropped the other day, but all the markets dropped, right? So I can't say it was a Pearl sell-off because everything dropped. So should I take $100? At this point, I'm not willing to risk 1,000. I'm willing to just keep playing with 100, more or less. So let me just figure out like what $100 worth of Pearl is worth right now. So we need a calculator. And Pearl is $1,286 according to TradingView. So if I take 100 divided by 1286.73, messed that up. 100 divided by 1286, that's close enough. So I want to get 0.007 is how many I want to transfer. 0.007, is that what I just said? Oh, no, 0.0777. Okay, and then a 6, I don't know. It's going to round a little bit, obviously. And I'm going to swap that for salmon and say swap. Let's do a screen. I'll do screenshots as I go so I can, besides having my video, it helps me to reconstruct what I've done. And as always, we have to confirm with our wallet tool. So now I'm going to trade the rest of my Pearl back to TRX because I'm not sure I didn't really want in Pearl as a long-term investment. I just wanted it to earn these high interest rates. So now I want to get back into something very stable, like here. Let's See, they have the right token for TRX. You can see I already have some tokens there. So I'm going to trade all the rest of my Pearl max back to TRX, hit swap. And again, I'll do a little screenshot. So here, I'm going to click this. Now I need to buy the liquidity tokens, which are the pair of SLA TRX. So now I'm going to click add liquidity for that. And I will do all the salmon I have, which now should be 10% of what or whatever, $100 that I bought from Pearl. So it should be around, hopefully, $100 of salmon. And then I'm going to say approve. Actually, before I approve, I'm going to reject that for now. See, I hit the reject button on my wallet. I just want to get another screen capture. Now I approve. And here, click accept. Okay, this is my second attempt. I thought I did this before, but something went wrong, I guess. I'm going to put in my salmon and my TRX, and I'm going to hit supply. Confirm supply. So I click it once there in the app, then I come over here and I confirm it in my TRON Link wallet. So when you click this add liquidity, okay, it still shows I have this balance of SAL here. I don't understand this. So when I click max here, it's taking that. It should be putting these in this liquidity contract. Now if I click view token, what does that do? That should be the token code. So let's keep that handy. Now I'm going to click supply, confirm. I'm going to click accept here. Unfortunately, I don't have time to read those little pop-up boxes there. So what I should be able to do now, let's just make sure this number here, so what I'm doing is taking that number there, go over here to my wallet, click on this symbol here and click assets, asset management, paste that. But that's just the salmon contract, not the TRX salmon contract. Okay, I think they must be getting an error when I do this. If I click max here, click supply, confirm. At this time, I'm going to watch closely what flashes by this upper right portion of my screen here. It does say pending. I'm going to open it over here. Now will that pending go away, or do I just have to sit here and wait a while? Okay, so this, I'll make sure this is the screen that it just now opened. This is my transaction details. Ah, there's been my issue. See there, fail revert opcode executed. So that's why when I come back here and say add liquidity, it basically never took anything from my salmon. So you see here, I always have the same balance because that transaction was not going through. If we click over here, how to get, let's just double check that. Choose the two tokens you want to add liquidity to. One of them should be TRX. You enter the amount of the token that will calculate the corresponding amount of the other token. You click supply. You'll get that. You'll confirm your supply. And it should say that. And that's more or less what we did. It's just not working now. Okay, I repeated the whole process again a little bit faster without doing the video, and now it worked. It's unfortunate that these liquidity pool contracts have the same name here, so it's hard to see which one's which. But they, believe me, these two have different addresses because they have different amounts. So now I've got my liquidity tokens, finally. And now I'm going to go back here, and now I'm going to stake. And yay, now I see them. See that number 289.82 there? Matches this 289.82 here. So I wish I could put another word on here to say that this is the Just Swap Salmon TRX liquidity token, but I'm stuck with the name they give me, which apparently is coming from the contract. So now I can stake all of that, click max. We have to accept it. There we go. We are now staked. And so now we should be able to start earning this humongous amount of interest. If we go again back to the menu, they're claiming here this API of this amount of interest. Let's pull that up on a calculator. $3,336, let's say divided by 12. That's 278% interest a month divided by, say, 30 days. That's 9% interest per day. So we should be getting this like before, like I was getting with Pearl.Finance. I'm getting over 7 or 8% interest per day if this works and if the token doesn't crash. And now the next step I need to do is actually find out how can I watch the price of the Salmon token. Now the next thing I want to know in this game of gambling is how do I track my price of Salmon? When you were here on the menu and you clicked Salmon TRX pair, they gave you a link here to Just Swap. And on that Just Swap page, yes, it's got, this is the initial page they give you. Okay, so now let's talk about pricing your salmon. So here it says 1 sal is this many TRX, and that's 2424.49 TRX. But then in parentheses it says that's worth $83. So I guess what they do is they convert sal to TRX. They know the price of TRX, and then they compute that. That's $83 right now. Now here is a graph. It says all time, 1 week. It's probably going to be not even good. So the all time, it's giving you a graph here that the price of SAL is going down. And maybe that's part of the game. Maybe the price keeps going down while your interest is going up. I don't know. Like I said, it's a game and we have to figure out how to play it. And what's interesting, even though I'm only playing with $100, look down here. People are selling, like here, swapping TRX for SAL, $846,000. 11 million, no, it's not 11 million, I'm sorry. There's a dot there. So some people are swapping $100, but here's a guy that did $11,000. And if we go back down through the history, you can see the different amounts that people are actually putting into this. And so then when you look up at the pool here, the total liquidity means there's $13 million of funds deposited in this liquidity pool. Now just to summarize it all up, let's go back to this Medium article from TRON here. It says introducing Salmon Swap. This was on September 3rd, which was 5 days ago, and Pearl Vault on TRON, the exchange that lets you earn forever. They're reminding you right now it cost $80 to do a transaction on Uniswap, and here it only costs pennies or dimes to do a transaction on TRON. So every time someone trades, there's going to be a 0.3% fee. These fees will be converted to Salmon tokens and then distributed to past and present liquidity providers for each pool. Now that's interesting when it says past liquidity providers. Does that mean I'm going to keep earning funds from my Pearl.Finance even though I harvested and took all my staking out? I don't know. Scrolling down the page, it looks like maybe they only allow 100,000 or 200,000 tokens in this swap here. This is kind of a confusing paragraph. I'll let you read it on your own. Okay, but before we close out this video, let me just show you something. I go back to the Salmon site now and refresh. And I've already earned 0.0038 Salmon in probably less than an hour, okay? So now let's just figure out what that is. The price of salmon is now $83 from this page, and I'm getting that price from right here. that number right there. So it's 83.9. We'll multiply that times this. So I've made 31 cents out of my $100 in, I don't even know how many minutes, less than an hour, while I've just been doing research. So if that's for 1 hour, multiply that, say, by 24 hours, that means I should be getting like $8 for today. And remember, they did say the average interest rate, I think I figured you take their annual interest rate, divide by 365, and it turned out to be about 8% a day. So that seems to be correct. Now we just hope that the price of salmon doesn't go down to zero or nothing or something. And it would be better if the price went up, right? So I'm a little confused about this whole thing. Like I said, it's got to be a game to me, and I'm sure there are people doing it a lot more seriously than me. But this is, I think, the bleeding edge, or what some people call the bleeding edge. And it could be huge rewards or it could be huge losses. So only do this as a game with small amounts of money. Do not treat any of this as investment advice. And I hope this is useful, and we'll see you in future videos.